All right, you guys. Without further ado, let me give you guys a brief introduction.
Complicated shit, ain't it?
Man is born March 23rd, 1996.
Yeah, it's like right here.
I didn't say March 23rd.
Yeah, like grab that.
March 24th, 1996. I'm March 23rd. Shout out to all the Aries out there.
Yeah.
He was drafted. By the way, this is me, just like I would give anybody. Here's the Wikipedia page.
Really
okay, but we're gonna get to everything now, okay? He's born March 24th, 1996. He now plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. He played one season for the Texas Longhorns before being selected by the Indiana Pacers with the 11th pick in the 2015 NBA draft. Without further ado, he was just playing in the finals. I know he's still tired. He played 7 games. Like, in the finals, you play 7 games. You go to the last day of the season. That's impressive. All right, so we're gonna give a special warm welcome to Myles Turner. That's stepping in. Let's give it up, guys. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Whenever Myles is ready. Whenever Myles is ready. Whenever Myles is ready, we'll get things going. And we have a few questions for the young man himself. If you guys don't know, he was, again, just in the finals playing as the big, doing incredible things, doing wondrous things. He does a lot of things, philanthropy as well. But without further ado, Myles Turner.
Yo.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for joining the stream, bro. Yes, sir. Sorry we didn't have a bigger... Like, we needed a bigger entrance. Like, I had the JBL ready. I didn't know if you wanted,
I get a whole
if you wanted any music, if you needed a walk-in or something like that. You
I'm a
know
low-key kind of guy, man. It's perfect.
What's up, though?
Solid, bro. Man, it's funny how God works, bro. I just had my presser today, and you had just resigned like last year in Dallas, and I actually watched yours, bro. I never, had been a free agent before. I've never actually, I've always extended, so I've never had like a press conference like this before. So it's and randomly, hit my manager. He wanted to come on the stream, so it's cool.
Yes, sir, bro. Yes, sir. You're welcome anytime, by the way. I want casual, as family oriented as possible. You know what I mean? I know we're media trained to a certain degree, so we know how to avoid different subjects, but a lot of these are softball, man, just to give everybody a better view of who you are. I know you do your own content as well. You do your own thing outside of basketball, which I'm happy about. I'm proud of you as well.
Appreciate that.
You're taking the business role very serious. I know you're about that. So we could dive into anything you want, but I want to first send you your flowers, give you your flowers in person, man. That was a heck of a run. I know it was unfortunate in terms of the win-loss aspect, right? But lessons are learned through failure. You know what I mean? You played at the highest stage or highest level. To see you go to Game 7 and play that well, man, it was impressive to see your team, especially when we saw you guys in the beginning of the season versus to where you ended up. Can you talk about just how you're feeling? Are you tired still? Are you resting? Are you back on the court? Like, what's the motivation? Like, I know that you just had your presser as well. So.
It's just a whirlwind of emotions, bro. I've actually, coming off of the disappointment of the loss to my first free agency experience, and I've actually been in Hawaii for the past 10 days, so it's been amazing. But I'm about 7 hours behind, time zone wise and whatnot. But I came straight here, then obviously did the presser, being with the team. So I haven't even processed anything yet, bro. I spent 10 years of my life, since I was a teenager in one city, and now it's as the industry goes, I'm on to my next team. It's crazy.
So you're going on your 11th year or you're going on your 10th?
Going on my 11th year. Wow. Yeah, bro, time flies.
Yes.
Time flies.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So when you say you haven't processed your emotions or you haven't processed everything that's going on, just explain that a little bit deeper. We don't have to go into crazy detail about it. Just what do you mean by that? Because I've been traded. I've been in part of free agency, so I know where you're coming from. But if someone at home didn't know, like, how are you processing your emotions? You get a new deal. You're moving, new teammates, but how are you processing it?
Everything just happens fast, bro. And I follow you from afar, and I'm very similar. I just think that I love my time in nature. I love my time away, and I'm a very centered individual. I try to get away from the game as much as possible, as much as I give to the game. So that's what Hawaii was for me. It was real peaceful. It was real peace of mind. I spent time in Kauai, Lanai, Maui. I just island hopped a little bit with my lady.
You were island hopping?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I was out there
were you staying on the water, or were you just hotel?
No, actually, I stayed in the Kauai for about 5 days, and then to get to Lanai, we flew, then took a ferry to get there. So it was amazing, bro, to say the least. Good experience. But yeah, for people who haven't been through it before, free agency is crazy because you view yourself one way, and then you hope that others view you that way as well across the league. But then you might value yourself a certain way and demand a certain number, and then the rest of the league, might be cap space, or there's only a mid-level exception. We can only offer you this. So it's tough, world of emotion, to say the least. And then of course, coming off the finals, you're disappointed there, and then then you gotta have to process everything.
How many days before you actually started moving your body again, like out of bed, or just not watching TV, or off social, or just how did you What was the next 48 hours after that? Because you did an incredible job, by the way. I want to say that because you know I've played in a lot of finals, won, lost. So it's for me, I see it as when we've lost. I've only won one championship. I don't want to say that that's like not anything special, but I'm just saying the process itself, the journey, bro. How was the 48 hours after?
The 48 hours after was tough, bro, because I just got back on social media yesterday.
Okay.
Like quite literally, I had to, bro. Just had the peace of mind. But people don't realize, like, they think about how physically strenuous it is. They don't think about the emotional toll it takes. They don't think about the sleepless nights. They don't think about just like noise and having to deal with family and having to deal with the ones around you because they all want the best for you, right? But there's an opinion everywhere, so you just have to find a way to center yourself somehow, some way. So, the last 40 hours, or the 40 hours afterwards was tough. I'm not watching TV. I don't want to see the other team, celebrating championship and all that type of stuff. So you get away from it, but then it just gives you motivation to get back, bro. It just, I went to Eastern Conference Finals 2 years ago, got to the Game 7 Finals this year, and it's like, damn, but you got so close, but it gives you that incentive motivation to keep going. Because, it's the industry gets you a job at some point. You know how it is, and basketball just doesn't become just that fun child's game that it was, but it gives you more motivation to keep going.
At what age do you think you fell in love with it? Where you were accepting of everything that came with it?
Late, bro. Honestly, late. I think I didn't really start falling in love with it until the draft process. That's when it really got me. The draft process. I spent 1 year at the University of Texas, and got out of there, and then I was actually here. I was here in Vegas. Funny. I was working out of Impact and whatnot with Joe Bunasar and them, and that process of becoming, bro, was everything to me. It was awesome. It was just me and my pops out here by myself. I'm 19 years old, so I'm not, partying in Vegas and nothing like that. But that process of becoming was everything to me, and it was a beautiful, part of my journey.
Okay. Okay. Good. How was the family atmosphere after the finals, or not after the finals? Excuse me. Once you were getting ready for your draft process, how was your family? Do you feel like they were changing with you, like as you started going to do your own thing and started becoming more of an individual? Because I think a lot of people don't realize once you get drafted, you also turn into a bit of a different image to your family, right? They will treat you like little Myles, but at the same time, the world is seeing you as, you're fucking Myles Turner now.
Right.
Like you're about to be one of the best 450 players on the planet. Did family start to change a little bit, or just the dynamics, or they started to realize what you were into, the club, or?
It's funny, man, because, my family's everything to me, just like even to this day, we move, you see my sister, like this is just how we moved as individuals. But they were more ready for it than I was. Because they saw it as, you're fucking Myles Turner. I just saw it as, I'm Myles. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really see myself.
You still have that
in
going
that
on
light.
now?
Absolutely not.
Like that's
absolutely not. That has to change as you, as you grow in this league and just become a man at that.
Yeah.
But when I was a teenager, bro, they saw the vision. They saw this for me. Even more than myself. And my pops, he's from New York. He had aspirations of making it to this level, and injuries, held him back. But he's living vicariously through me. He's still a part of my journey. My mother, she's the first one to buy my goal and put a ball in my hand, So they're a very integral part of even my journey to this day. They were here today at my presser. I had my whole team here, and it was it's an amazing thing. So my family's very close.
Were you less nervous because, do you think you would have been more nervous if they weren't here, or you think you were less nervous because they were here? Or was it not nerve-wracking? Because I was nervous at my presser.
Right.
I'll be honest with you. I was nervous at my presser. I still get nervous sometimes getting in front of the media. That's why I've created this platform to be able to sit in front of the camera and be able to say how I feel without it feeling like, oh man, someone's about to do something crazy with this clip. So it's just, how was that?
That was just that sentiment, bro. Just because of the situation, coming off of Indiana, then signing with their rival. It was that whole like, no matter what I say, someone's gonna take it and twist it to make it look like I'm spiting Indiana or it's doing this, and that. But seeing the front row, it definitely was comforting. Having my my closest people to me and whatnot. And nah, man, nervous wasn't really the word for it. It was just more so of like, how am I going to form this to be as authentic as possible? Because I can intentionally go in there and be my authentic self, but some media outlet, some person somewhere, as you know, is just going to take whatever outlet they want and spin it to their narrative.
Yeah, for sure. Was like when they were sharing that with you in terms of the rival nature of it, did you not feel it until you left, or until free agency happened? Like when Indiana fans will see this, they were like, okay, well, Myles, we know you've been here for 9 years, 10 years.
Yeah.
You gave it everything you had, but you said this one thing. Was that what you were worried about, or was it just like the responsibility of your word choice and knowing that you want to show love to everybody, at the same time pay your proper respects, know that your journey was what it was, but now you have this new transformative step. Right,
yeah, at the end of the day, bro, it's not a Cinderella story. You know what I mean? I think that's how people are trying to form this. And though I think the way I view it is I wanted to be thankful. It just the people that rock with me the entire time, my 10-year journey in Indiana, but also let them realize that, this is, at this time I made the best decision for my family, I made the best decision for me, myself, going into my prime, and this is how I saw fit. So I think the nerves just more so came from just.
Wait, so there's a better version of Myles Turner?
Absolutely.
There's a better version of who we've seen the last 10 years.
Oh, brother, I'm evolving just like, we're all on the same path, bro, the same journey in this league. And some people get it early, some people get it late. And I was blessed and fortunate enough to, get it a couple years ago that this is not, my best form. I think you said something in your presser about like, my 30-year-old body is different than my 20-year-old body. I'm 29 years old, moving into my 30s, and I take care of myself a different way. I take care of my mental a different way. I'm very into, meditation and yoga and taking care of all the little things in your body and grounding yourself. So I've definitely changed as an individual, and I know I'm evolving towards my better self.
I'm glad you talked about meditation. I'm glad you talked about breathing, just the aspects of oneself that needs to be taken care of, needs to be catered to. Self-care is not something that we're taught, especially as young men in our household, as often. So as we get older, figuring that out, of course, you can have the capital to do it, but if you don't know how to take care of yourself, how is someone else going to come in?
Exactly.
Authenticate that?
I think I got to one of the lowest points in my career, like my 6th year or so, and you can spend so much time trying to look for external answers, bro. You can try to read this article, do this and that, when all the answers are within. They really are. There are some people out there that are really going to understand that, and some people out there that are going to think I'm on my woo-woo stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I know you resonate, bro.
Yeah, it's just the chat. Also, we got a good relationship, bro.
Beautiful.
It's a good mind. Obviously, you're not going to get sometimes the response you want, or you won't find those 5 people that actually are connecting to it.
Yeah,
right?
that's
you
okay.
won't see them. You won't see them in the chat, but you will connect with them in person. You will connect them in a universal truth type of way. So I get that. Yeah,
but just being like just aura filled, bro. Just being like amongst the presence, looking somebody in the eye. All that shit is just so real, bro. And just protecting your energy at all costs. I think it's something you harp on a lot, and it's something that I've really taken on, as I've gotten older.
I mean, there's a lot of distractions, a lot of people waiting to attack, waiting to be aggressive with you, and then also being in our position, we almost have to be safe. All the time. Like, we can't really react or overreact because someone could pull out a phone, someone could do something. But to be your authentic self, you have to exist within these emotions, this spectrum, right? It just, you expand once you kind of get in that uncomfortable zone.
Yes.
Confrontation is healthy as long as you're ready for the truth. A lot of people aren't ready for that. So I agree with you. Tell us more about your childhood. And what advice would you give your 11-year-old self? I've been asking people this, like, what advice would you give 11-year-old Myles Turner if he was standing in front of you or sitting in front of you? What type of advice would you give him? Like, what would you tell him?
Yeah, fit out, bro. Don't fit in. I think
fit out, don't fit in.
Yeah, fit out, don't fit in, bro. I think I spent so much time, like, it's funny, one of my childhood best friends, I was able to bring him up for the finals, and he told me in middle school, said, bro, you're going to be in the NBA one day, and when you get to the finals, I'm going to be here. Like, he manifested it for me, in a sense. And he was there with me, and he said, bro, I always told him I was always trying to, like, fit in, just, like, be like you guys. And he was like, bro, you were never meant to fit in, bro. Like, we always looked at you like, you're the one, you're the star. But, like, that didn't feel authentic and real when I was in middle school or 11 years old. It felt like, no, like, I'm just like everybody else, or, I just had that humbleness to me. And then as you get older, it's like, wait a second, I am the shit. Like, hold on. I do move a little bit different than everybody else in this room. Like, people do view me as that, and I got to carry that. And I started feeling that confidence, later into my career, and I carry it now, and it's changed my game, honestly. It changed the way I just view life at that. So, yeah, fit out, don't fit in.
Okay. To add on to that, what are some of your outside or off the court, not interests, but your passions? What if you were not playing basketball for 2 months? You had no practice, nothing going on. You had 2 months to work on a specific skill or something you're passionate about. What is that?
I think everybody knows me for the Legos, but I think that it goes beyond the Lego. I enjoy building, bro. I enjoy bringing it brick by brick, putting something together, because nobody can do it for you. Like, I did that. Whenever you get done with a big ass building, you put it on the shelf. It's like, damn, I did that. Okay, what's next? I just have such a passion for life, bro, and just for living, I would say. Like, this basketball, this money, it's amazing, bro. Like chat, I promise you,
it's take for granted. We don't take
awesome
for granted
at all.
It's amazing.
But bro, there is just so much more out there. You are nothing without your health. You're nothing without your wellness. You're nothing without the love that surrounds you. Right. And I think that's something that I've internalized. But I love nature. I really enjoy hiking and being outdoors. I'm more of a mountains over beach kind of guy. Every off season, I try to go to some mountainous regions and just just jam. I have before.
You kind of just go visit, go to different mountain peaks.
Yeah, I'll go to different mountain peaks, hike it. But I have trained in the mountains before. You know, I did a couple. I guess I did a couple months out in Denver, but like, you know, I took it out to the peak as well, just to test elevation, stuff like that. Okay. Really I love animals, love cats, more specifically. You know, cats are on a different wave, bro. I'm a cat dad, bro. Yeah, real shit.
How many dads you got? Chill, y'all. Yo, cat, chill. It's got nothing to do with y'all. It's just two cat dads just talking about what's going on. All right, no judgment. All right, don't do that. I already know what y'all doing. Stop. All right, cat dad's talking, man.
That's real, bro. Cats are different, bro, because like, you know, a dog, you can train him, tell him this and that. A cat is gonna do what he does, but he's also like, he protects you on a different like level, you know, if you're on that type of wave. And then a cat, they also is just like more of a welcoming, warming type of thing. Like when they purr and all type of stuff, they give off a different frequency, bro. It's a healing frequency. And if you into that,
going into deep shit. That's what I said. I love it. Yes.
No, for real. Like,
yes, talk about it, Myles. Come on, talk about it, bro.
Yeah, no, cats, bro, it's a different type of way, bro. And then, you know, they just kind of do their own thing, bro. Like, you know, obviously, you know, you do the litter, do the cat, but like they take care of themselves. And then when they want to come fuck with you, they'll come fuck with you. When they don't, they're gonna do whatever. My sister, she just
cat or outdoor and house cat. Like,
so I grew up.
You let the cat out, like.
So I grew up with outdoor cat. And then I realized that, like, you know, they do their own thing, but probably not the best, like, you know, it's like, just, you won't worry about them too much, you know what I mean? Yeah. But my sister, she just got a Maine Coon. And those are the ones that they get to about, he's about 8 months, and he's probably like 3 feet or so. So they're crazy. And then my girlfriend and I.
What's the name? Louis. This is a boy.
It's a boy, yeah.
Okay.
Got him.
We're talking about.
Bro, I'm telling you, if I
8 months, he's 3 feet, like
3 feet, bro.
This is legal?
Yeah. It's a house cat, bro.
It's a house cat.
Look up Maine Coon.
Bro,
Maine like the state coon, bro.
It's a house cat?
And he's gonna get bigger. He's only 8 months. Bro, they can literally get to about 4.5 feet if they want. Like,
team, y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Team. Team. No. Team, y'all hear that?
And then me and my girlfriend, we have he's a tabby and Egyptian Mal mix, and he's a big boy. His name is Casper, and just best cat I've been around, bro.
Do you walk him? Or like, do you just leave him in the house and he just?
Yeah, he just roams, bro. But I definitely travel with him.
What does he eat? Now I see cat that shit. What does he eat? Like, what is?
There's a brand called Tiki Cats. That's what I like the most. It's the most like organic and healthy thing for him, and it's like wet food for the most part. We'll give him some dry food, but wet food's the best for him in the system and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
my cat has not been bigger probably than like. That big. You talking about? You said,
bro, a Maine Coon. Even Egyptian Mals, they're pretty big too. Like they're girthy, and then you can treat them like a dog, bro. You know, you push them around, hit them a little bit. You know, like the little taps like by their tail and stuff. Like he be chilling.
No hissing.
No, none of that. None of that. He know better.
Oh, so there's an alpha. There's an alpha type of authority.
I'm gonna say his mother's the alpha in his life. I would probably say, and I think I'm more the endearing one, but there's a mutual respect. You know, because when there's a difference between men cat and women cat for sure. You know, when men cat get around their women, they're more protective and like more in that space. When a female cat gets around, they want more of the male spirit. Like it's a very real thing.
Yeah. Okay. Probably a few last questions, brother, because I don't want to keep you talking unless you can.
I'm having a great time, bro.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I can do this all day too.
When you were looking over everybody in school.
Okay.
How was that being a giant? I don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You're a fucking giant. And I'm just going to call it, but I don't mean that in a demeaning way.
No, of course.
You're a giant, meaning your perspective over top of the human race is usually at a certain level that we can never understand.
Right.
All right, I'm 6'2", I'm above the average male height, but in terms of being almost in there, are you 7'1"? Do you consider yourself
6'11", 7 foot, yeah.
Myles, stop lying, Myles.
I'm 6'11" and 3/4. If you want to go to the doctor, I'm 6'11" and 3/4.
How tall you are, how tall do you tell them?
It's the beauty of it. If I'm feeling 6'11" this day, I tell them 6'11", and sometimes I'm feeling 7 foot, you know?
No, but how was that? Was that a different type of, like, when you're looking at someone and you're kind of talking to them, they're looking up to you, was that something you had to get used to?
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't really ask that question at all. I'm just saying, I'm wondering just.
I feel like I was always like the taller one in the room, so it just became accustomed, just came with the territory, I would say. But again, I almost tried to spend so much time trying to fit in and like be like the other people. So like if they're gonna get on this roller coaster, I'm gonna try to do this shit right here. If they want to do this, I'm gonna
try to do
them.
Still get on roller coasters?
I hate roller coasters. I can't do it no more now.
You can't get on any roller coaster.
Nah, it's more of a personal decision. I had a bad experience when I was like 7th grade or so. Like I was with Six Flags, and it was a Judge Roy scream. Arlington, I was traumatized, bro. I almost got decapitated. I was like, I'll never do this shit again. Because like I was sitting up so high, and there was a bar right here, and I just at the last second, I kind of just went like this. I don't know if it was God, I don't know, whatever. It just, in an 8th sense, I literally went like this, and the bar was like right here. And I said, after that, I will never get on a roller coaster again.
Okay, did you ever have to deal with, and this will probably get a little personal because I've had to deal with 2 bullies in my life. Have you ever dealt with bullying as a grown up or bully anyone else? Or because they say usually people that get bullied when they're young usually end up becoming a bully and they end up, they're figuring out just when you get bullied, you usually lead into that. So, because it's for the youth out there.
Yeah.
A lot of things do get harsh in our community, especially in our generation. In basketball, there's a lot of gray area in terms of what you can joke about, what you can do.
Right.
But we don't discuss it, right? But was there ever a time in your life you felt like you had to stand up to somebody that was
Yeah, of course.
bullying to you? Or
I think that I never got physically bullied. No one ever like beat my ass, like got in a fight, none of that type of stuff. But verbal abuse, like verbal bullying, all that type of stuff. Like there's a demeaning way that people can talk to you, and you can take the high road, or you can kind of just let it slide. And the problem that I had is I let a lot of shit slide when I was in middle school, and that's another like advice I would give to myself is you're not necessarily like you're not being mean, you're not breaking someone's spirit, you just sticking up for you and what you believe in. But I let a lot of little comments slide and all that type of stuff, and it started to fester and build up and build up and build up, and then like you start taking that out on other people. And I didn't necessarily like bully anybody else, but like being the bigger guy in the room and like joking on this person. You can joke on this person a little bit. Like I didn't have the right people around me to deal with that. But my parents, they really helped me deal with it. Like for real. Like they just, I told you my parents saw the vision, bro. They always said you're gonna be somebody. I remember when Facebook was first like really, really popping, like, someone that said some cyberbullying shit and I said some shit back. And then my mom said, delete that shit right now. Delete that shit. Them folks gonna look at this 10 years from now, and then they're gonna, you might not get drafted here, this is that. And I always thought she was tripping. I was like, man, it's just internet. And you see that everywhere nowadays. Some guy, some person, some influencer, some athlete said something 12 years ago. And it's come back to haunt on this day. They're losing deals, sponsorships, views, everything.
You're doing that research, man.
Yeah.
People care about the research.
They really do. You can type in on Twitter just like one key word and it'll pop up on your shit. Like, I was very thankful for my parents to, kind of give me that wave. So, yeah, bro, just don't let too much slide, bro. There's something you believe in, bro. You got to speak on that. You have to.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Let's talk about your shirt.
Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't just wear that shirt for no reason.
Absolutely not.
And you wore it to your presser.
Yeah.
You wore that at your presser.
Oh, no, I didn't wear it to the presser. I didn't wear it to the presser. I had a nice little suit and booty.
Let's talk about that before you get off stream. Who is Neo to you?
Man, bro.
What does the Matrix mean to you? Like when people bring up the Matrix, because I know you're deep into your study, so we're not going to go
too far.
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, who is Neo to you?
Bro, you are the creator of your own life, brother, of your own universe. Like this game or this life is like a video game, and you're like the person like controlling it and whatnot. Neo is like the main avatar to me, and you can stay in the quote unquote Matrix, get your 9 to 5, do as you're told, stay on social media, do what everybody's telling you, or you can take things in your own hands and live the life how you want to live it. And I think that's, it's a little bit deeper, but, for action and all that type of stuff.
There's a lot of depth at this. Yeah, I got you.
In the movie, he decided to, go the other way, go with the agents and whatnot. And for me personally, what that means is just, kind of escaping that. Like, just because all these trends on social media are going on, you don't got to be a part of that. That shit is just the tap dance to get you to look over here when something's going on down here. You know what I mean? I also think that he was able to, find love, and love is like everything in his life. Love, bro, that shit transcends like dimensions, bro. Like that is the one thing that is a constant no matter what, is love. And he was able to find that, and he also, again, bro, was just be able to just tap into his own abilities. And what we do on the basketball court, bro, obviously we train for that, but a lot of that shit is just instincts. And a lot of that stuff is like, you're not even just training your basketball handles and this, that, you're training your mind, bro. And just the innate senses that you have. Him stopping bullets and all that type of stuff, I kind of, compare that to what we do out on the court. I feel like sometimes when you're making a move, like you see it before it happens, or time slows down, or you go for a big dunk, like everything slows down. And those are your innate abilities that you're able to tap into that you can't train. It's either you have it or you don't, but you have to train that part of it. There's so much more to this plane than just, the physical, if you will. And that's what I mean by the answers are within. Meditation to me, meditation to me really isn't just, okay, I gotta quiet my mind. Your mind is never gonna be quiet, bro. You gotta think of your thoughts like clouds. Like sometimes when you're a kid, your parents teach you, oh, look up, what does that cloud look like to you? Those are your thoughts. Your thoughts are gonna pass by. You can choose to look at this thought or just allow it to keep going. All meditation is just viewing those clouds and viewing those thoughts without judgment or ego. You just allow the things to pass, and whether you feel like, okay, this is something I need to act on, that's where your ego comes in. The clouds is just your mind. The ego is you deciding like, oh, look at that. That one looks like a bunny, and that bunny can be a good thought or a bad thought. Yeah. So I don't know, man. That's a meditation to me is just something that's really saved me personally, and has allowed me just to really get answers that I needed that I couldn't get from your mom, dad, sister, friends, anything. Only you can figure it out for yourself.
It had to show itself in your life. Like basically, you had to see that your thoughts or things that were in your head were actually not only within, but they could actually act it on outside of it. Okay. What about, like, I don't want to go too deep into this as well, but this is my last question to you, Myles, is just, you brought up about being the creator of your own reality to a degree, right?
Yep.
And being able to know that love transcends those dimensions. How have you grown since the first time you came into the league with relationships? Because I was just explaining to, I'm trying to think, I think it was Tristan Jazz, bro, just telling him like 86% of our marriages fail in the NBA. That's an insane number. I don't think a lot of people know that number, but 86% of our marriages fail. So you basically shooting damn near 85%. as soon as you ask to marry somebody, you basically saying like, yo, this got an 85% chance to fail.
Yeah.
I obviously focus on the other 15%, 14% of the married couples because there is magic to that, right?
Yeah.
It does take a special person. But the reason why I was asking was, when you were 18, 19 coming in, you were 19.
Yes.
Because you were a day apart in terms of March 24th, March 23rd. How was that in terms of your relationship building afterwards? Because now you're getting to know tons of people. Now you're Myles Turner, known by not just thousands, but millions of people. How was relationship building after that, like figuring out who you are?
Bro, I've grown so much, man. Like I said, I'm going into my 30s, and my 20s are, I look back on, I have zero regrets, zero, because it was all part of my process. But to answer your question, what I would say is that when I first got in the league, everybody's gonna bow down. It's, oh, you're Myles Turner, you're the shit, you're this, and that. You gotta figure out who to listen to and who to tune out. Because I think my problem was I listened to everybody. You know, my mind was very impressionable at that age. And then when you're coming into a locker room, no one was my age. I was 19. The next Joe Young was 23 years old. That was the next closest person to, you know, to my age. Everyone was 30 years old. I played with Monte Ellis, PG, Yamahini. These guys are a lot older than me, but their own kids and families. So I couldn't relate to anybody. So I keep looking around trying to like see what they're doing and what this person has and how this person's moving. Or if I go to the club, like, how does this guy get all these girls around him? How does this guy, get all this attention?
Everything from the lifestyle.
Yeah. And you think that that's what matters. You truly think that that's what this shit's about, because that's what all your boys want to talk about. That's what all the people back home want to talk about. So I'm like, all right, yeah. So I'm moving with this person, this and that. Then I've had my experiences, with women, and I just. There's an objectification that comes with that. You know what I mean? And then once I learned that shit just didn't satisfy me, it didn't do anything for me. It literally could do everything to harm me at that if I allowed it to. I realized it wasn't for me. I think there's a lot of beauty out here in this world. Like, women are beautiful, but what I was able to do was trust in God, bro, for real. And fortunately, I've been with my lady for about 3 years now, and he put a lady in my life that changed my perspective on everything. There's accountability that comes with it. You know what I mean? And
a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of accountability.
We had the same birthday. Like, you can't make that up, bro.
Oh my gosh.
Me and my girl had the same birthday.
Another fiery person.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
You fight fire with fire.
Congratulations. I have a fire woman as well.
There you go.
So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But this someone with a like-minded vision, bro. Someone who was able to kind of do all this stuff, like, with, her name is Asia. Like, Asia was able to do everything on her own in a sense. She's always done everything for herself. And she basically is like, nigga, I don't need your money. Shit, cool. Obviously, it buys amazing things. Materialistically, it's amazing. You provide some sense of security. But, like, I was taking care of myself before you got here. And to you, it's almost like an ego hit in a sense. It's like,
It's the first time that somebody ever.
Yeah, and some people say that, right? There's another thing to see people walk that and live that.
Right.
And then someone who just wants to better you, bro, every single day, who wants to better, like, see the best version of you. You know what I mean? It pours into that.
Wife, bro. Damn, bro. I'm talking about that real shit, bro.
It's real, bro. Like, it's just, she just want to.
That love she got you doing,
Hey, I'll put it this way. When she came into my life, obviously, it wasn't just her. It was a collective effort. But I averaged the most points in my career the first year we dated. I averaged like 18 points a game or whatever, and it was an off year. The very next year, I went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And this past year, I was in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Obviously, I didn't finish the goal, but ever since she's come into my life, like, it's been nothing but, advance me as opposed to regress me. And I don't think that that's a coincidence, you know what I mean? And who knows what's gonna happen in the future with my career and whatnot, but, like, I'm just locked in, bro. I personally just know what I want for myself as a man, know what I want for myself in my career, and the beautiful things that, come with, being just a commitment at that.
Yeah, commitment is one of the toughest things. You see it from that perspective, but commitment could also be easy once you get that accountability, that responsibility.
Right.
Manhood.
Yeah, manhood is exactly what it is, bro.
When we came into this at 19 years old, I try my best to explain to people, like, when I humanize my story, to allow them to see me as that version of myself that was doing the very best that I could at 22, 23. I was doing the best that I could with all the information that I was gathering. Now, would I have liked to be more engaged with the environment around me and stay curious and be around the right people? Absolutely. I think anybody wants that, right? Because a lot of decisions could have been segued into something better. But the way I look at myself now is this version that I'm very proud of because I'm able to not only just authenticate what happened, but also advocate and utilize a vocabulary so I know exactly what I mean and how I feel. I just didn't know the words to put to my feelings when I was younger.
Yeah, there's no way to like,
the English language sometimes can have its way of tricking you out of your position, right? Especially when you're learning from other people. We only had 1 year of college, you know, so education was not being just readily available. Here, go read this book. Here, go read that. So it's a unique perspective, and I'm grateful that you stepped in, bro, because we are a lot similar than we are different. And I think that's the difference. Like our career, our stats will be its own thing, but I say for us as human beings and us as hoopers that love the game, coming out of college at 19 years old, living somewhere in the Midwest, you know, being able to curate your personality to fit in with the group, but now having the personality that fits out where everybody kind of just magnetizes towards you because now you're getting your soul correct, you're making sure that your intentions are always pure and knowing how to protect your heart without disregarding your boundaries. And I'm proud of you, brother.
I appreciate that, man. For real.
Congratulations on everything.
Sir, my brother. Thank you.
Welcome in. You're welcome to stay and see the rest of the suite, or if you guys want to chill, I'm going to be in here interacting with the chat. I'll be in here probably for like the next hour or so, or we have a sightseeing bus going on at 5:30.
Got it going on in this trade. All right.
Yeah, we got 2 hours on the sightseeing bus. We're inviting a lot of family and friends on it. We got 47 seats on the top, 20 seats on the bottom. Show Vegas, but doing it in a better way, man. This is the way to prominently show our young players. So I do want to get a few guys on here as well.
For sure.
But this is also about the veterans, making sure that our voices stay strong.
Gotta protect the next generation, bro.
Yeah, man. We're about to be leading the next generation. You are heading into your 30s with, you know, a great head on your shoulders and also with an awareness of what's going on around you, bro. That's most important, man. I never want us to just be hoopers out here and just completely oblivious to how we can grow as people and human beings, you know what I mean? Because there are stereotypes that exist, especially as young black men trying to come into the NBA, and that's all we know. That's all we just continue to be great, just continue to pay attention to what we wanted you to pay attention to. So I'm glad that you fought back against that. And the success was on the other side of that. You know, that means that you can do it all. You don't have to just be so locked in. Yes, there's a time for that, but once you evoke that power within you, bro, anything's possible.
Of course. Yes, sir. I'm in Dallas, bro. You know what it is. Let's tap in.
Yes, sir. Love, bro. Yo, W's in the chat for Myles, y'all. W's in the chat. I wish we had the chat up here so we could ask you some more questions, man. W's in the chat for Myles, bro. Young legend himself, man. Please give it up. W's in the chat for him, bro. Appreciate the fan for stopping by. You guys, again, you guys are more than welcome to stay.